Hello, Quote Artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel Under the Needle. So I just finished the Stripology virtual retreat for 2023, right? So there were two sessions. One session was over the weekend. The other session was during the week. I chose the session during the week because it was just easier for me because I could just take some vacation days off of work, and then there would be nobody here during the day. So if I had did it during the weekend, then everybody would have been home. There would have been activity. People would have been back and forth. And I would have felt like an obligation to spend time with my family and stuff like that. And, we don't want to do that when we're in retreat. That's the whole point of retreat. So I chose to do it during the week. And that way I didn't have to deal with that, right? At least not in any large degree. So at least like when everything started, it would be during the day, nobody's home. And then when people got home, at least we're in the tail end of things and we're starting to wrap things up for the day. And it was a great time. Like, it was a really great time. Like, I laughed. I met all kinds of people. I showed you guys, we did all kinds. Okay, so let me be a bit more organized about this. So the way it was done before was they would do like a half day and then 2 full days and then another half day. This year they just went with 3 full days. So it was done as like a virtual cruise, right? So our first stop was New Orleans. So we had, a little headband thingy. We had some Mardi Gras beads, and we had a snack that was that corresponded with New Orleans. I forgot what the snack was. I don't remember. I forgot. But we had a snack. And it was great. So first stop was New Orleans, and there's a playlist. There's a different playlist for each day. So the first day was the New Orleans themed playlist. Now, I didn't really listen to the playlist because it just wasn't my particular type of music. I like a little bit more pop and R&B, and that's kind of more my style. So, but when you're in the Zoom, so the way it works is you start off in the main room in the Zoom, and there's conversation. There's like a presentation where you get information, or you might play games, or you might get instruction. Those things all happen in the main room. So sometimes we're in the main room and we're playing bingo, or we're having cocktail hour, or we're just doing whatever. And then when we're not in the main room, then we're in our breakout rooms, and they assign you to a room. But if you're not vibing with your room, you can completely switch rooms and go to another room. And we're all home. So you don't have anything to carry. You don't have anything to carry. Now, I did an unboxing earlier that showed everything we got. I got a half-yard bundle with 15 half-yards in it, plus a 3-yard cut of background fabric, plus 2 additional 1-yards, plus 2 additional half-yards, plus an additional, like, quarter-yard or something like that. Like, a ton of fabric in that box. So again, day one, New Orleans, we had a good time. She demoed the quilts. So we get 3 quilt patterns, 3 unreleased quilt patterns, never seen before. And so she gave us the instruction, tips and tricks on how to put the blocks together. And it's done in pieces. So she'll say, okay, this is how you do steps 1, 2, and 3 of the pattern. Do that. And then once you're done, then we come back to the main room. You go in your breakout rooms, you sew or you chat or whatever you want to do. There's no pressure to get your quilt completed. All she really wants you to do is make a couple blocks so that you know the technique, and then you can go back on your own later and complete everything. Like, that's the whole thing here. Now, initially, I thought I was going to get it all done because I did last year, except for the table runner because I just didn't want to make it. But last year I got both my quilt tops completed during retreat. But there was also that 4-day thing last year, right? So we had a half day, 2 full days, and then another half day. So I technically had an additional day to finish up. This year, not so much. The first quilt that I started working on, I just wasn't paying attention. I wasn't really reading the directions and the pattern. I made all kinds of miscuts. I had to do block surgery. The seam ripper came out many, many times. I think I seam ripped more in that one, in that one day. I seam ripped more in that one day than I think I have all year, which is crazy. But it wasn't the pattern. It was me, because when you're used to traditional block patterns, sometimes you don't have to read them. You can kind of just look and be like, oh, component. You can see the different block components and already know what you need to do. But Gudrun doesn't put her blocks, she doesn't design in the same way. So you really need to read the pattern, and I did not. I was not paying attention. I wasn't paying attention how things went together. I had to seam rip so many times, it was ridiculous. But I got half my blocks made, and then I just decided I was going to move on to the next project because it was the next day. So I was like, I'm just going to move on to the next project. And there was no pressure on me to finish these anyway. Like I said, I wasn't pressuring myself to finish them, but I just expected to do more. But honestly, I spent a lot of time chatting, talking. And so I wasn't sewing because I was enjoying the conversation. And that's the point of retreat. It's one, you get to kind of step away from your family. So I will say I do love virtual retreating. I will say that it is going to be easier for you if you have an ability to step away from your life while still being in your same house. Some people don't have that freedom. For some people, if they're home, people are going to be on them all day. So I'm fortunate enough that that's not my case, but and I'm all over the place. I know I'm all over the place because I literally just finished and I'm just so excited about it. Like I got tips and tricks and I found a new instructor. Her name is Nina Klotfelter. She does virtual friggin' classes for free motion quilting, paper piecing. Like I met so many people. I saw so many different quilts. I saw so many different design options and different color palettes and just different ways to do things, different ways to think about things. And I had such a great time. So anyway, day one, New Orleans. And we had a recipe. So we get recipes. So we have a food recipe and a drink recipe for each day. And of course, we had our snack. Our snack for day one in New Orleans was these Aunt Sally's pralines. And apparently, that's how you're supposed to say it. You're not supposed to say pralines. Apparently, you're not supposed to. They're pralines, like pecans. But I still say pecans because whatever. So day two was Memphis. We had a great snack. I was scared to eat these, but they were these cashews, these Memphis style barbecue cashews. I don't even know where they are anymore. I was snacking on them earlier. Super delicious. Here they go. Had no idea that these were pretty good, but these were great. So love that. And again, same thing. We did demo and instruction in the main room, answering any questions and that type of thing. But also one of the greatest things was each day we got to do like a Q&A where we got to ask any questions. And I think day one was like more professional questions. So like, what do you want to know about her, how she designs, how she thinks about color, patterns that she writes, what's her art creative process, those types of things that you don't normally get to ask someone. So that was day one. Day two, we got to ask a bit more like personal questions. Now I missed a little bit of that Q&A for day two because I did feel some pressure to spend some time with my family. So I cut out a little early on day 2, and I did miss some of the Q&A. But we have bingo every day. There's yoga. We do yoga every day. So her husband does all of her technical stuff and producing. And so I guess he was like a fitness instructor at some point. I feel like they met at the gym. So he does like a quick little 5-minute yoga session every afternoon where we get to kind of stretch and relax. It's just a great experience. The total cost was $439, I believe, plus tax and shipping. Shipping was $18.99. And for me, it was worth every penny. Every penny. I did it last year. I did it this year. It was worth every penny last year. It's worth every penny this year. I enjoyed it even more this year because it wasn't my first time and I had done it before and I had a little bit more experience with it and I felt a little bit more free to talk because I know I have this channel and I talk to you guys like I am this extroverted person, but in reality, I'm not. I'm extremely shy, extremely quiet, and extremely introverted. Extremely. And I know you probably don't know that, but I am. So for me, being in front of a camera is like second nature. I was put in classes, performing classes since I was a child. I've been performing since I was a child. So being in front of this camera and talking or even live presenting, being in front of people and talking and presenting information is something that I am very good at. It's helped me in my job. It's helped me in my life. I am exceptionally good at it. But put me in a room of actual people, I don't say nothing. So I talked a little bit more this time and I sewed a little bit less. Last time I did not do a whole lot of talking. But so anyway, day 2, we went to Memphis. Like I said, we had the cashews for a snack. We played bingo. We had a new drink recipe. We had a recipe for Memphis barbecue sauce. It was great. Day 2, we have a whole booklet. And the booklet gives you your itinerary for each day. Like, this is what we're doing. These are the times that we're doing it. It's friggin' great. I can't recommend it enough. Day 3, we're in Minneapolis because since we're cruising virtually, we can do whatever we want. We can go wherever we want. So day 3, again, we learned a new way to make flying geese, which I can't talk about. That's not true. But I'm just not going to talk about because I don't feel like that's my place. But she taught us a new technique to make flying geese. Awesome. And she gave us a table topper pattern to use them in. Awesome. Again, we had our bingo, we had our yoga, we had our different music. So Minneapolis, the music was a little bit more my speed because, we had a lot of Prince in there. I love me some Prince. So that was pretty great. And again, we had a different food recipe. We had a different drink recipe. Like, they really think of everything. When we were in Memphis, we had the Elvis glasses with the sideburns when we were in Memphis. It was just a great time. It was a great time. Our snack in Memphis were these malted milk balls. They're the drooling moose milk balls, but she rebrands them the G-Easy balls by the drooling moose. Again, we got a candle. So in addition to all of the fabric that I said, and this booklet with this full booklet with recipes, drink recipes, food recipes, and your itinerary, plus pictures of the quilts that we're making, right? If you've never done a retreat before and you want to try one, and it's cost prohibitive, because it was for me, right? Because first of all, this is the travel portion, right? Just to have to get in your car and drive or fly, and then you have to bring your sewing machine. And then if you don't bring your sewing machine, then you're sewing on some random machine that you have to learn when you get there. You got to bring all of your rotary cutters, cutting mats. You got to schlep all that stuff. And I still want to do it. Like, I still want to do an in-person retreat. I would never fly unless all of a sudden I became independently wealthy. So if y'all see me fly to a retreat, y'all know that I've hit the lotto. If I go to an in-person retreat, it's going to be within a 6 or 7 hour drive of me, and I can drive there. I will not be paying for plane tickets in this economy. So yeah, just great experience. Like I said, all in, you're paying $450. You get 3 days. You're going to meet people that you never would have met. You have awesome conversations with people that it was awesome. I had a great time. I had a really great time. I highly recommend it. I believe I recommended it last year. I recommend it even more strongly this year. They did a poll at the end where they were asking how many people were first, second, or third time retreaters. I did miss the very first retreat she did. I missed it because it was a little bit less expensive. I think it was I forgot how much it was, but it was a little less expensive, but you got less fabric also. But I didn't jump on it right away. I think I waited a week and tossed around the idea. And by the time I went to sign up, it was already sold out. It sold out so quick. So now she does 2 sessions. And I don't know if both sessions sold out or not. I don't know. But in that poll, I think there were 38% were new retreaters. And I feel like a lot of those people are going to come back. I know that everybody who was in the second or third, who had done it twice, 2 times or 3 times, I can pretty much guarantee you that if they have the money, they're going to do it again. If they're available, if their availability is clear and they have the money, they're going to do it again, because I can tell you the same thing. If I have the availability and I have the money, I will definitely be doing it again. So here's to hoping that I have the money, because this was a blast. I highly recommend it. And if you haven't done it, do it. Anyway, that's it for me, and I will see you guys next video.